What's up guys, it's your boy Dorian here. So I'm finally continuing the series on my channel where I give you the top 5 facts about all the mutants that are going to be in X-Men Apocalypse. And I've already done Archangel and Psylocke, so if you haven't seen that video, just make sure to click right, I got it right the first time. Make sure to click right here and you'll be able to see that video. Or click on the description, I'll have a link provided for you. So yeah, I bet you guys are, you probably aren't wondering, but yeah, I just decided to take a little break, like a week off, just not recording or editing videos because I wanted to enjoy like the first week of my summer since I am taking summer classes. So I just wanted to enjoy summer a little bit before I got on my grind with all these videos. But yeah, I'm feeling refreshed and I'm ready to go, so we're going to go ahead and get back on this series and get all these mutants knocked out for you guys. So today I'm going to go ahead and give you the facts about Wolverine and Jubilee, and the reason why I paired these two up is because they do have a long history together, a type of father-daughter relationship, but I'll talk about that more in the video itself. Yeah, I don't know why that took me so long to say. But yeah guys, let's go ahead and get these facts started. Number 1, Wolverine was originally planned to be a teenager. Wolverine made his Marvel Universe debut in the pages of The Incredible Hulk back in 1974. He remained in costume for the entire battle and was something of a mystery. And long before the version fans all know and love was revealed, the plan was actually for the mutant to only have enhanced senses and an animal rage. But even more surprising was the fact that Wolverine was also going to be a teenager. That obviously would have changed the character's dynamic in a major way, and it's hard to imagine him having become one of the core leaders of the X-Men years later, but hey, they didn't go with it, so it's all good in the neighborhood. But that would have been an interesting twist to see where they would have taken that in like the comics and in the X-Men films. That would have been pretty cool, but I don't know how I feel about that, but that also would have been pretty cool. Next fact. Number 2, Jubilee's powers are kind of lame, but also kind of cool, but also kind of lame. You know what I mean. You know, don't get me wrong, I love her too, but yeah. Jubilee is a mutant, but she had no idea that she had any abilities until a high-stress situation led them to manifest. She was being chased by a security team when she found out she could create fireworks with her hands, colorful lights that could cause minor distractions and damage. She could even mold them into different fun shapes, which is a great party trick, but had a side effect of making her powers seem too cutesy and non-threatening. But throughout the years, the writers have tried to bolster her powers' lame reputation by increasing the strength to catastrophic levels. The fireworks she could create were actually explosive plasmoids that were capable of leveling a house if she lost control of them. And if she really put her mind to it, her powers could even function with the same level and danger as an atomic bomb. But Jubilee was actually terrified of the damage she could cause, so she worked really hard at controlling her powers, just like any other mutant. So you gotta respect her for really trying and giving her all on that control of her mutant powers. I respect the hell out of her, because I'd just be like, oh fuck it, if I can't control it, just let it all out. Number 3, most of you guys probably already know this, but Hugh Jackman is way too tall to actually play Wolverine. Hugh Jackman's many appearances over the years as Wolverine has made the Australian star become the most definitive version of the character in most of the fans' eyes. It's not hard to see why either, especially as he's done such a great job right from the start in the first X-Men all the way up to Days of Future Past. However, he's wrong for the character in one major way. The comic book version of Wolverine is only 5'3", while Jackman is a far more impressive 6'2", and that's a really big difference, and it still infuriates some fans to this day. But I'm not going to be the one to tell a 6'2" dude, buff-ass dude, that he can't play the role. Like, are you going to do that? I'm not. I know how to pick my battles. I know which battles I can win, and that's definitely one I cannot win. So I'm not going to be like, hey Hugh Jackman, you can't play this role because you're like a foot taller than the original comic book character. And I want to see somebody actually go up and say that to his face, and if they do, I respect the hell out of you, but I know you won't. Number 4, Jubilee has a really close bond with Wolverine. As a teenager, and one that's used to taking care of herself, Jubilee basically traded in one hideout for another. She followed the X-Men members home but didn't want them to know she was there, instead living secretly in the base until she was forced to reveal herself. That came about because she saw Wolverine being attacked and jumped in to rescue him and tend to his wounds. And it would be the start of a great friendship between the two that lasted decades. And Wolverine basically became Jubilee's mentor, and the two forged a strong father-daughter type relationship, and he also takes her with her when he goes on his adventures and missions, which is where her reputation as a sidekick came from. And he would go on to be one of the most important people in Jubilee's life, someone she could count on after losing everyone else she cared about. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And I took off my beanie because it was getting hot as hell, so yeah, you get the full Static Shock dress today. Number 5, Wolverine actually fought alongside Captain America in World War II. Despite being something of a mystery when he was first introduced, writers over the years have continued to add to Wolverine's history, and the fact that he has no memories of his past made it a lot easier to add things. And one of the most surprising reveals was that he spent at least some of World War II fighting alongside the young Captain America. And by them adding him into Captain America's World War II adventures, that made their relationship a lot more interesting and meaningful in the long run, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I know sometimes him being inserted in different parts of history got a little bit daft, but this one actually paid off, which was pretty impressive to see, and I like it, and you like it, and we like it. Oh God, I hate myself. Not really, I'm pretty awesome. Number 6. Jubilee actually had cameos in previous X-Men films. Jubilee has appeared in 3 of the X-Men movies: X-Men, X2, X-Men United, and X-Men The Last Stand, but all of her appearances were lost on the cutting room floor. She was played by a few different actresses and mostly functioned as an extra who comic fans might have called in the background. She was first played by Katrina Flores in the first X-Men film, and her only speaking part involved a conversation with Kitty Pryde and Rogue that ended up just being a deleted scene. And in X-Men 2, she was portrayed by Kia Wong, and once again her few lines of spoken dialogue were ultimately deleted from the final film. And Jubilee was almost cast in X-Men Days of Future Past, with Jamie Chung rumored for the part, but that merely resulted in some concept art that never moved any further. Shake my head. Finally, Apocalypse got it right with bringing my girl Jubilee to life. Number 7. Wolverine once fought Spock and lost. The 90s was a weird time for comic books, and on the verge of bankruptcy, Marvel moved ahead with any number of weird projects. One example was the 1996 Star Trek/X-Men series, which as its title suggests featured a very peculiar crossover. At one point in the comic, Wolverine lunged at Spock in a berserk rage, but was shut down immediately by the Vulcan with one of his infamous nerve pinches. This was widely considered to be one of Wolverine's most embarrassing moments, and it's not hard to see why at all. I mean, he's taking down mutant terrorists and giant robots, but Spock just was like, chill out, fool, like, you can't beat me, like, I am the greatest of all time, like, sit down, son. Number 8. Jubilee lost her powers on M-Day. House of M was the storyline in the Marvel Universe that followed the breakdown of the mutant superhero Scarlet Witch that led her to using her reality warping powers to bring about a huge change in the world. One such result was M-Day, an event in which Scarlet Witch caused the majority of the mutants to lose their powers. Understandably, this led to some serious identity crisis among the affected mutants. Jubilee was one of them, and being stripped of the ability she fought so hard to master had a profound effect on her. Even so, she didn't sit around very long feeling sorry for herself. She took action. In her depowered state, Jubilee continued to do whatever she could to help. She worked in a halfway house for mutants just like herself who had lost their gifts, and the ability to pick herself up and dust herself off after a major blow like that became an important part of Jubilee's character, and a quality that would serve her well in the storyline to come. Number 9. Wolverine was almost called the Badger. If history would have played out slightly differently, this video probably would have been titled Top 10 Facts About the Badger and Jubilee, and that doesn't sound too good, does it? Like, top 10 facts about the Badger, what, nobody cares about, nobody wants to hear, see a superhero named the Badger, what? This goes back to when Lin Wayne was in the process of creating the character. He had been asked by Marvel to come up with a superhero who could potentially increase the company's sales in Canada, and decided to base the new mutant on the animals that they call the Great White North home. Eventually, the writer was left with 2 choices, Wolverine and Badger, and it's fair to say that he did make the right choice with going with Wolverine, because the Badger would not have stuck too long like X-Men Origins, or what was it? X-Men Badger Origins? The Badger Origins? Number 10. Jubilee reinvented herself as Wandra. Even after the events of M-Day, Jubilee remained as tenacious as ever. Losing her powers was not going to stop her from becoming a hero. In fact, she even joined a group called the New Warriors. Though she was still without powers, Jubilee was able to use technology to gain new ones, mainly flight, super strength, and the ability to create force fields around herself. They weren't quite as colorful as her old powers, but they allowed her to serve as a hero once again. But yeah guys, that's it for my top 10 facts on Wolverine and Jubilee. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe, because you know a new subscriber is a new friend, and I like making new friends because you guys are awesome. I don't know why I just did that, and I hate myself internally for doing that, but yeah, make sure to subscribe and like it, and also make sure to check out my top 10 facts on Archangel and Psylocke if you haven't already, and I'll have a new video for you guys in a few days, probably as soon as possible, because I need to get back on my grind. But yeah guys, see you later on this week, love you, and peace out. I can't say yes or anything because my family watches.